Don't you guys just love the Halloween season? It's amazing. Not great for your wallet, but it's definitely a lot of fun. So, I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. I've been to all the Halloween Horror Nights houses already. I've been at least 3 times. So I figured I could do a little top 10 list for you guys. So sitting at number 10 for me is Jordan Peele's Us. Now, I was not a huge fan of this movie. So I feel like going in, I probably wasn't very objective. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's a little bit difficult to enjoy a house from a movie that you didn't really love. Yeah, I mean, they had a couple of good scares. The theming was okay. It looked like the movie, but it wasn't really too scary. I just it wasn't my thing. So I'll put that at number 10. Number 9 was actually Ghostbusters, which sadly I'm wearing the shirt today. But the thing was, I did love this house. It was awesome. It's just not scary. It's like walking through the movie, which the movie's not that scary either. So yeah, I mean, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But you know, I think that they could have maybe added in a few more jump scares in there. Maybe made it a little more eerie because it's not a movie. That's the thing. Like when you take a movie and you put it into a haunted house, it has to be a little bit different because you're experiencing it differently. Just like when you read something that's a book and watch a movie, they both have to be approached differently. Number 8 was one of the original houses this year, Graveyard Games. This one was pretty cool, pretty original. It takes place in a graveyard where 2 kids have basically danced on someone's grave, or one of the things that all these kids always do in these movies, and and then the ghosts get all pissed off at them. So that happened, and so then basically you're, I guess, following them through, or you're following their story through these mausoleums in this creepy graveyard, which was definitely interesting. And I do like how there was like a technology aspect to it. You could go on Facebook Messenger and you could actually find out about the lore of the different gravestones and stuff. So I thought that was cool. There was a lot of good houses though this year. So one of them has to be lower. And I guess just this one for me, it didn't have as many scares. It could have also been the fact that when I went through, there weren't as many characters working, I don't think. So yeah, it was alright. Pretty good. My number 7 pick, Stranger Things. Now, everyone loves Stranger Things. It's everywhere. We actually, right before Halloween Horror Nights, we went to a little photo pop-up thing where, you go into the different scenes from the movie and you can take photos with your friends and stuff. So it's just all over the place. So I feel like I've seen a lot of it. It's a little bit too familiar for it to be really terrifying for me. But that's not the house's fault. That's just what it is when something gets popular. However, if you liked season 3 of Stranger Things, I think you'll really like this house because it does have some really cool scenes from the show. Like, they have, obviously, scenes from the mall, and then they have one of those giant puppets up above. And I love that when you're in a haunted house and they just have, like, a massive head that's, like, coming over. It's like, like it could literally eat you kind of thing. I don't know. I just find that to be pretty fun. So, yeah, that one, it was good. You go through the upside down and everything. But still, wasn't my absolute favorite, so put it at number 7. Number 6, House of a Thousand Corpses. This one I was really looking forward to because the movie is basically a haunted house. When you watch that movie, it's like, you're going through each individual room of a house. And that's what they did. They did it perfectly. They started with, the gas station with Captain Spaulding. And then you go through the kind of House of Horrors area. And then you even end up at the end with Dr. Satan underground. So it's pretty cool. I really enjoyed it as a walkthrough. There's a lot of variation, which is awesome. And then also they've got like that weird, creepy mermaid. Well, it's like somebody, killed someone and turned him into a mermaid. And I always thought that was like very disturbing. I try to point it out to people in my group, and they're just like, what, man? And I'm like, no, dude, it's a mermaid guy. It's freaking weird. I don't know. I guess no one else thought it was that weird. Tell me if you guys thought it was weird, because it's just crazy to me. I'm going to preface these next 5 with saying that if it's an original house, I tend to like it better in general. just because it's so much harder to do something not based on source material. So you have to give it a little bit more credit. And I just like seeing things that are brand new. So with that said, number 5 for me was Depths of Fear. This one, you are essentially in a submarine that's sinking, and it's been invaded by some sort of like weird piranha looking things that have arms and legs, which was kind of funny at the same time as they were scary, because they have like these horrifying huge jaws, but they kind of reminded me of street sharks in a way, which was just, throwback from 80s childhood. But it was definitely pretty funny, but also scary. Lots of good scares in there, and yeah, I liked that one a lot. So next one was number 4, the Yeti Terror of the Yukon. This one was like very good. This was probably the first one where I was like felt totally immersed in the house. So there's this part where the Yeti is holding this dude. I don't know if he's a real guy or just like a really good looking mannequin, but basically his hand just goes through him and scares you while you're walking by. And that's a pretty creepy scene. I liked that one a lot. It was a good story, a really good concept. I enjoyed that one a lot. So yeah, that one I'm going to give number 4. I think it deserves that. Plus it was really original. I'm hoping they do some sort of movie based on the Yeti. Or maybe they already did one. Let me know in the comments, because I feel like I saw a trailer for something like that. One of the, like a Yeti movie or something. I definitely want to watch that. Alright, so number 3. This one I also might be a little bit biased, but it was a really great house. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's basically, just them walking you through the movie. Also, they've got the part where, you basically see the ship, and at the beginning, the carnival tent ship, and then there's the part where, there's a shadow on the wall, and it turns into like a T-Rex and eats the people and everything, just like in the movie. So that was a lot of fun, and the costumes were just amazing. The clown costumes, they did very, very well. I love the height that they give them. I don't know if they get really tall actors or they just put them on stilts, but it's pretty creepy how huge they are. And then I also love, it was a nice touch how they had the queen clown at the end. How it's like Queen Alien, but Queen Clown, and they have that at the end of the movie. So that's kind of like over the top, one of those giant puppets. So that was really cool too. It's really neat. Number 2 was the Universal Monsters House. This was awesome. It's basically, you go through the themes of all the different Universal monsters. You start out, I think it's basically you're in Dracula's castle. Yeah, that's right. You start out there, and then you go through, and you get to Dr. Frankenstein's lab, and then at the end you get into the Creature from the Black Lagoons area, and the Mummy as well. And yeah, the ancient pyramid or whatever for the Mummy. That was pretty cool. I liked that one a lot. I'm loving all this Universal Monster stuff coming back. The great design work that they're doing at Universal. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. Like the color palette they're using, it's just amazing. I've already bought a couple of the pins and stuff, and I definitely want to get more. It's a really good way to bring this franchise back. I hope they are able to do that. And then number 1 is the Nightingale's Blood Pit. Now, I think no one's going to agree with me on this. I'm already like 100% sure on that, because it was just kind of a little bit of a weird one, but I love the concept. I think I've never seen anything like that, where it was the gladiator times with these weird creatures that kind of look, actually, that's why I got this out, because they look like that. It's really weird. They're like these bird type creatures that are kind of coming through and eating all of the people. But then there's also these, like, I want to say they're like zombie gladiators. I don't know if they're dead or not, but they're pretty horrific. And then the one thing that they did different about this house was they made it smell like cat pee, which was, you probably hate at first because it's like, oh, that's horrible, that's very uncomfortable. But it actually added to my fear level, because I was kind of like always on edge. I'm like, oh, that's cat pee. I feel like I'm stepping in cat pee, like at all times. And that really kind of like shook me up. I'm like trying to not to step in cat pee, trying not to get eaten by a giant bird. Maybe there were giant cats in there after the birds that we didn't see that were peeing everywhere. I didn't even think about that, but maybe that could be like a little side story that they have going on. I'd like to know more about that. But yeah, so that was number one for me. Go ahead and if you guys have been, leave in the comments what you guys thought the best ones were. And go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. You'll be getting a lot more content like this, a lot of creepypastas, and original stories. So happy Halloween, and remember to stay spooky, my friends.